And we're live from the media school at Indiana University here in Bloomington. I'm Joe Wren for WTIU News, reporting on election night 2016 with local updates throughout the evening. And we have actually a few numbers here to show you. We'll put them up here on screen. We're going to start with something that you may have heard already talk. NewsHour has mentioned it a few times. We talked about Trump now taking Indiana with a rather large percent of the vote, and that race will, of course, also decide the fate of the current governor of Indiana, Mike Pence, who is now the vice presidential candidate, as you know, for Donald Trump. We'll have more on that in a little bit. Let's go ahead and go to Lindsay Wright, who's at the Democratic Watch Party in Indianapolis. Lindsay, I hear you have Joe Donnelly with you.
I just was saying that, this is a hard year to be.
Yeah, that's right, Joe. So I talked about the energy. Well, that energy continues to rise, and it's especially high now because just a while ago, U.S. Senator Joe Donnelly took the stage here at the Watch Party in downtown Indianapolis, and he really acted as a hype man for these Democratic candidates. He was shouting, he was excited. He said, let's go out, win some races, let's get some numbers. He ended that short speech with, let's turn Indiana blue. Then he ran off and proceeded to kind of run through the crowd, really excited, high five, hug people. I took a picture for someone and he jumped in the shot and photobombed it. So you could really tell that he's excited, and he's definitely kind of lifted the energy in this room, and you can really feel it because these voters are really excited.
Okay, thank you very much, Lindsay. We'll be back with more as the night goes on. We have a few more results to pass along here from our studio, and I believe we're going to head over to the Senate, perhaps, or we will see where we're going to after this. I will say that this is live coverage from the media school here at Indiana University. We'll get back to PBS NewsHour coverage in just a second. I'm joined by Bernard Fraga, the Indiana University Department of Political Science Assistant Professor. We're taking a look right now, Bernard, at some of the results. You were surprised, though, at as we see Donald Trump takes Indiana 61%, but then we jump over here to the U.S. Senate, where Todd Young at 54%, Evan Bayh 40%. The numbers aren't quite as dramatic as they were with Trump.
That's right. This is an interesting phenomenon that we're witnessing now, which is actually the kind of never Hillary camp might be larger than the never Trump camp, where the Democratic candidates are outperforming Hillary Clinton in the state of Indiana. Now, right now, as far as we can tell, it looks like Todd Young is doing quite well, might be up in the final prediction by as much as 5 points over Evan Bayh. And with Gregg and Holcomb, it's a little bit closer, but still, this is a surprising result, and I think some of it might be due to Donald Trump doing better than expected in Indiana.
But we haven't seen a lot of the results yet from Marion County, too, right?
We've seen some, and the results are not as clearly in favor of the Democrats as people were expecting. So I think this is starting to shift our projections. We're starting to see data from St. Joseph County as well come in. Nothing from Lake County yet, but from enough of the counties in the state that are supposed to be Democratic strongholds that I think the Democrats should really be worried about those statewide races.
The Trump campaign has pushed the idea of replacing Washington establishment candidates with political outsiders. Has similar messaging had an impact in the race between Evan Bayh and Todd Young?
Well, we've seen the ads, right? I think all of us, it's hard to escape the ads talking about Evan Bayh, being in the Senate, then leaving and wanting to come back now. Todd Young was also in Congress for a number of years. So, I don't know it's quite the same dynamic, but certainly they're trying to hit a chord with the voters, the idea that people want outsiders.
I wanted to get to this too. For the first time in 6 years, Hoosier voters were asked whether to amend the Constitution on this year's ballot. Public question number 1 asked voters to forever preserve a Hoosier's right to fish, hunt, harvest wildlife. The Humane Society, of course, opposed the amendment, saying that people already have those rights in Indiana. Supporters, including the National Rifle Association, say the amendment in the Constitution will ensure that that doesn't change. And as we can see just barely there on the screen, though, 80% right now saying yes. Are you surprised at that?
I'm surprised at the margin there. I don't know of a coordinated Democratic campaign to defeat this measure. I think they kind of thought this was not something to really touch, really focus on the statewide races, including Attorney General and Superintendent, right? But this is a big margin.
And, I think that may have caught some people by surprise, too. Not everyone knows exactly what's on the ballot until they get there.
That's right. That's right. I heard a lot of reports, especially from students in the area, that they didn't know what they were voting for on that measure.
Okay, we're going to head back to PBS NewsHour coverage. We're live here from the Media School at Indiana University.